Celebrity Book Club.
And that is why our campaign believes in healthy children on the streets. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I'll take questions from Fox News.
Kayleigh, love what you're doing up here.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Jesus Christ first and foremost. Continue.
When will our beautiful, handsome president be out of the hospital and recovered from COVID-19?
He has so much energy right now. Jesus Christ is actually in the room with him right now, so I do imagine that Jesus will be carrying him back to the White House during this hard time.
Kayleigh.
Yes, you on the right.
Hi, yeah. Chris Carvabuto from Fox News Business Weekend Edition. Are you excited about the Milwaukee Bucks playoff game happening this Sunday in your backyard?
Chris, I don't speak sports. But my husband, who's a Major League Baseball player and drives a black F-250 truck, once took all the guns out of the house while I collected the valuables to run away from rioters who had already targeted Champs, Boston Market, Domino's.
Just a quick follow-up question about that. Do you know the horsepower of the black Ford F-250 2014 edition that you referenced? Just to follow up.
I believe it is 250. Next question.
Kayleigh, this is Lisa Bonatusu from the New York Post.
Thank you for being so brave. Congratulations on your recovery.
New York pizza. You say you hate it. Does Mr. Trump agree with you?
After a round of orange sodas and cookies for everyone on Air Force One, Mr. Trump has almost nothing to say about New York City. Period.
Thank you for your candor.
Kayleigh, Carla...
All right, Fox and Friends, go ahead. Carla.
Hi, this is Carla Lisa Simpson Marie Camden Mills of Fox News and Friends in the Morning. Do you have any makeup tips for young women who are looking to follow in the eyes of God and also in the eyes of Corinthians 30:24, but also work in the political realm?
As Booker T. Washington once said, do not let your husband paint your nails, even if he is a Major League Baseball pitcher. Thank you, Jesus.
Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoirs. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in, I brought the Cuervo.
Hey, best friend.
How are you on this beautiful, God-fearing Christian afternoon?
Thank you so much, my brother in Christ, Stephen Phillips Horst. I woke up today and the sun shining down, and I said, only one man could make this day this beautiful.
And his name is Jesus
H. Christ.
Yeah. And if there were two men, it might be Donald Trump and Jesus H. Christ. But
right.
For now, I think it's just Jesus.
Just Jesus today, but we'll see what happens on Wednesday.
How are you feeling? I know that we've both been sick with a mysterious illness the past week.
Yeah, I'm finally recovered.
Cool.
We both really just came down. So to our listeners, do know that we are recovered, and the recovery is, of course, due to God and Jesus. But yeah, our sicknesses really took us out last week.
I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. And finally, God took that fever away from me. I had a fever of 101.
Wow.
For multiple
0.5.
days.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It was crazy. And, people talk about fever dreams, right? Okay.
What were your fever dreams?
The dream that I'm coming in and out of, sweating at the air conditioner full blast, still at 102, is I'm lying on the beach and I'm wrapped in this sort of cocoon-like object that was not dissimilar from the weird cocoon-like object that I was wrapped in when I was operated on at age 3 when I split my chin open on the kitchen floor. I'm on the beach and someone keeps telling me, you're in the most beautiful place on earth. You're in the most beautiful place on earth. But it's going to cost you $50 to stay here. It was...
Wow.
Yeah. It was sad.
That is sad. And watch out for beach grifters.
And I'll tell you this. The beach was being very, like, kind of an overdeveloped beach. Like a lot of high-rise hotels. It was like trash on the beach.
That sounds like Jacob Reese this summer. Sorry.
Well, I guess it's time to bring in our amazing guest today.
Our incredible guest, clearly a queer historian.
Yeah. I can't believe we landed a deceased queer historian.
Yeah.
Singer, actor,
Author,
comedian, author,
writer, homeowner, as you were saying.
Homeowner.
Small business.
By marriage.
Yeah, homeowner by marriage, which is the right way, am I right?
Thank you.
Southerner, Midwesterner.
Chihuahua owner.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to have to cancel the app. So sorry.
You know, this is a cat pod.
Cat pod. Ladies and gentlemen, Chihuahua owner, Erin Markey.
Woo!
Thanks for having me here in this whisper room.
Before we get into this amazing faith journey of a book, Stephen, what the freak are we going to be doing on June 24th?
We are going to be having a live show. That's right. CBC Live at Music Hall of Williamsburg.
Sorry, say what? Williamsburg?
Yeah, that's right. The coolest neighborhood in all of New York City and one of the most iconic venues on Friday, June 24th. So please buy your tickets. It's going to be so effing fun.
So fun.
Grace Kulenschmidt is going to be there. You know her from Instagram. She's a hilarious comedian. We're going to be reading book, talking,
drinking, laughing, loving.
Characters, singing. Improv.
Tons of improv. Yes,
drinks.
ending all the way to the Bedford L.
Also, here's going to be so fun about it. So it's at 8 p.m., which is an amazing time. I would say you could, like, go early. Like, it's early enough now that you could make a reservation at a bomb-ass restaurant and, like, actually get a table.
Yes, do like a 6.
Do like a
6:30.
6 or 6:30 at, like, go to Rule of Thirds, this new Japanese place that I love in Williamsburg.
And that's kind of izakaya. It's Japanese, but it's rustic, but it's steel and modern.
Then, bam, 8 p.m., you're at our show. You're having teenies with us.
Martinis. And then after that, yeah, because it is the beginning of Pride Weekend, you could go clubbing after the show.
Boom. Head over to Metro with some friends or go to a real party, a rave. So the ticket link is in our bio.
On Instagram, on Twitter.
And I'll just say this, all of our other shows have sold out. So, you know, if you're thinking you want to go, I would say get on it. And don't be that person who's like, wait,
hold
does
on,
anyone have any
tickets?
Oh, wait,
hold on, I totally missed this.
Oh, fuck, I really wanted to go.
Buy the tickets now.
Buy them. Erin, you wanted to read this book that we chose for this week because
you were dying to read
think
this
it's
book.
because it speaks to some of your experience that you've had growing up.
None other than we can say it together.
For such a time as this,
my faith journey through the White House and beyond. By Kayleigh McEnany.
It's McEnany.
It's McEnany.
I looked up the pronunciation before I got
wow.
Okay, student over here.
McEnany. I always thought it was McEnany.
Yeah, I was like, McEnany.
Exactly. That was the question coming in. And I was like, I'm going to look like the biggest fool on Celebrity Book Club unless I know how to say Kayleigh McEnany correctly.
Kayleigh McEnany. And it's Kayleigh, of course, spelled Kayleigh.
Erin, now, did you grow up on a faith journey?
In the Christian faith?
I mean, I chose it for myself in high school.
Wow.
Wait, really?
Okay, so I had this all wrong. I think I thought maybe you kind of grew up in the church.
Well, I was raised Catholic, and to Christians, that does not count. You could say I'm sort of the inverse of Kayleigh McEnany because she grew up Christian and then went to a Catholic, all-girls Catholic high school, which I think she mentions is why she had mismatching socks.
So, yes, and why she never showered.
Yeah.
And okay, I never thought of Catholic schools as
Yeah, I didn't even, I just wrote what next to that paragraph.
Well, I was like, okay, rock on, my fellow sister of Bushwick, because I'm such a like anti-deodorant brigade.
Because she seems so like secret deodorant to me, where like she wakes up and she
Baby powder.
lathers on her secret deodorant.
Oh yeah, she seems like encased in baby powder for sure.
And like is such an ad about deodorant where like a woman takes off her dress and there's like white on it and she's like, oh, not again.
Obviously, Trump has just been like, she is a hot little ticket.
Oh yeah.
Finally, we got
no.
something nice to look at around here.
Yeah,
after
he
the
was.
past few.
He was glad Sarah Huckabee Sanders was long
Right.
gone.
Because there was her, there was Sean Spicer, also known to looker. Everyone before Kayleigh was like
Not
Yeah,
the
they were
haughty that she
Homely
is.
secretaries.
homely secretaries. So the Secretary of Homely Security. Because she was like already in this point where she was like going on Fox News and doing hits on CNN, like post having gone to like Oxford or whatever.
As like a 22-year-old.
As like a 22-year-old just like hot. Well, that's the thing about to be a Republican commentator. It's like you can just be like a hot blonde chick.
Yeah.
And you don't need
Yeah.
to be so like, I'm such a PhD who's written like an Atlantic book.
Yeah, if you've gone through the Oxford tutorials
Right.
and you've been challenged
Oh, my
by
God.
people
The
who
debates?
believe
Oh,
in
and-
the rights of Palestinian people, you belong on Fox.
Which Kayleigh, you know, she does not believe in those rights. However, she was challenged to debate.
Yeah.
And she
Yes.
thinks it's actually very important to speak with people who don't hold your views. And
However, she is
A staunch
mentioned-
supporter of Israel conservatism, Jesus, and faith.
and
Yeah.
unwavering in her views, although she's open to listening. She mentioned that like 800 times.
Absolutely open to debate
I won't be changing my mind.
at all.
At all, ever. The part where she was like, growing up, my dad always used the word worldview.
Yes!
And you're just like, that's not really your dad's phrase.
And she also is a
That's just a
classic
word.
daddy's girl. Her dad was a football player, and then he started a roofing company. And he instilled some amazing values
He
in
had
her.
a roofing company?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
remember
most
that.
normal Republican dad job.
Yeah.
I remember him being a coach.
Well, I think you can
And
also
you don't get paid
You
for
can,
that.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
just out of faith and
Sure,
care
sure.
for community.
That's called a faith walk.
When you chose the path of God,
Yeah.
was it some sort of divine intervention? Were you just like, oh, like the sun is shining down on me, God has opened a door,
No,
I
no.
will walk through this door, and with him I shall walk to greener pastures?
No, these two girls that lived in my neighborhood who were sisters came to my door right after we moved to Georgia and asked me if I wanted to be friends. And they went to a church like that. And I was
Wow.
like,
Wow.
cool,
That
I'm
easy.
sold on Jesus.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, cool friends. Jesus, yes, please.
And also you were thinking maybe like, hello, like threesome with twins.
sisters.
Yeah. Sisters, dude.
I hope they have a stepbrother.
I think that's all our fantasies, all right?
But they also, we took a class together. Not the younger sister was a little crazier, so she didn't take this class.
We always are.
But we took a class together called Dating by the Book, meaning
the
Bible.
Oh, is
the
it?
Bi- the big
Wow.
book.
That
It was a
book.
discipleship class where you would you would have to have a chaperone with you if you went on a date,
Oh.
which my instructor Cheryl, in retrospect, like is obviously like a full les.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she would like pick me up like at
Hey,
my
get
house
in.
all the time. Yeah, but she was like pretty femless.
Oh,
so
okay.
like you wouldn't
Hot.
suspect anything.
Nothing.
And then she
What
was
kind
just
of card she have?
I don't speak car. A Ford F-250.
Black leather suede interior. The wheels were 125 over 45.
the detail that she chooses to pull out on this book, like, so the book opens with her with like BLM has just started. There's riots breaking out over the country.
St. John's Church has burned.
St. John's Church has burned.
Historic
There are
church.
threats against her home
In Tampa.
in Tampa, and so she's just like I awoke to a text from the Tampa Police Department, and my husband and I piled into our black Ford F-250.
Wait, it was a text from the
Yeah, it was
A text from the Tampa Police Department because she's friends with the detective. Then she's like, we made our way to a dimly lit steakhouse.
Oh, yeah. She goes, so, and as I was trying to enjoy my potatoes au gratin.
my deliciously cheesy potatoes au gratin. Rioters and looters were threatening my Tampa mansion.
As well as an AT&T store.
Champs. Wait, I actually have the full list underlined.
Please do read. Oh, and I would say chapter 1 does begin with a quote by Dr. King.
Well, so every chapter begins with a quote. Like chapter 2, this is the part where she uses the worldview. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17.
And that was the chapter about how she got challenged
Yes.
by other people at Oxford that did not share her same views.
It was growing up, my dad always used the term worldview. He said that everyone had one, whether they knew it or not. It's like, your dad said that. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
he get it. Also, in describing her childhood, when she's like, it was an amazing childhood, and then her explanation for why she knows trauma is because one girl in her town had cancer. Wait.
Wait, and there's a detail in that paragraph where she says that the whole town was dancing to the Macarena.
Yeah.
Oh, right. No, and the cancer girl loves the Macarena.
She got to live out her one final wish. And she's like, and I know now she is happier in heaven.
So, yeah, and then...
And I aspire to get there.
It was, and then she went to be with Jesus.
Yeah, not a problem.
She had cancer, danced the Macarena, and went to be with Jesus. And
She's
that's
with Mima in heaven.
with Mima and and Poppy,
Right, which you would only know if you read the acknowledgement.
which I did.
I read a little bit. The best part of the acknowledgements was the order of ascending greatness.
Right.
Yes.
And it ends with obviously Trump and then God.
Yeah, it goes Pence, Trump,
God.
Jesus Christ.
It is very kind of the more like ancient monarchy system of
Right,
medieval
king.
France, where you're just like the king is like one step between God and then like nobility.
You mean the leader of the free world?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's this very Jessica Simpson, like Christian Girl level of detail where she's always describing the side of a door that she went through.
Yes. Yeah. And the baby's crystal chandelier.
Oh, yeah. Let's
That's
get
insane.
that. Well, and even that she said, and also on the first page, she said she was sad because her baby was going to miss her 32nd.
Yeah.
Which really sucks
Yeah.
for baby Blake.
Because it's the year before the Jesus year.
Oh, wow. Here I am not knowing my scripture.
Wait, can I just read this part about where she's talking about getting onto Air Force One?
Please.
In the White House, my Air Force One trips would become routine. That being said, they never lost their majesty. Each trip with the president seemed to bring a new and exciting experience, like the first time I rode in an MV-22 Osprey. An Osprey is a military aircraft with two rotors, propeller-like spinning blades on either side. At night, these rotors light up green, sending a bright neon green circle into the darkness. I would load onto the Osprey via a loading ramp. The red and yellow carpeted ramp reads HMX-1, standing for Marine Helicopter Squadron 1, the squadron that also flew Marine 1. I learned quickly that I had to be careful to hold down my dress upon boarding.
Hello. I found myself when I read that, I was like, she should wear pants. Like, I was just trying to solve her problem.
Yeah, you're like,
Well, gosh darn it.
That calls for a pencil skirt.
yeah. I just sorry. So, and what color was the carpeting on the ramp? Oh, great. You're going to tell me.
you soon you realize, you're like, she has the part about the car, you're like, oh, so we're really going into every single.
Well, it's very that
detail.
the editor's just like, make it rich with let's try and
people want to know
They
what
wanna
is the
picture
world
this.
of the president.
Yeah, I want to bring this to life with vivid color and detail. And she's like, well the
I'll
ramp
tell
was
ya.
yellow, and they're like, that's great, Kayleigh.
More colors.
Yeah.
More proper nouns.
What color was the light on the propeller?
So also I love how she doesn't even really get into like how she met her husband till the end of the book.
And they skip every juicy detail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No first kiss.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
You know what's funny, though? They met the same way that Meghan McCain met her husband.
Kayleigh, as
On
a
Twitter?
woman.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
And like, literally, the woman DM'd the man on Twitter.
Huh.
Yeah.
No.
Girls can do everything.
Yeah.
Finally, equality.
Yeah.
Hello. And she DM'd him and was like, good to see like a man who believes in like good Christian values.
No, because he was like based in New York playing for the Mets, and she was based in New York being just like a foxhole.
Right.
And
He was wearing camouflage in his picture.
yes.
right. And she was just like, finally, a guy who likes hunting, but is based in New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like I guess maybe they hooked up after going to Southern Hospitality, a local New York Southern restaurant, maybe.
I know. I was like, should I go to Southern Hospitality? I haven't tried that
Date
restaurant.
And then she would sit alone in the family box and watch him play for those Mets. And it sounds like later when she's working for Trump, he's really like not getting much action on the field.
On the mound.
Yeah, which Trump is always like, seems to be like roasting her
my
husband
God.
so much.
That section was crazy where he was like, Trump was talking to her about how her husband just lost the World Series. Yes, this is what it was. He was like, you're not at your husband's game right now, but you're at a Trump rally.
Oh, yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
the World Series, that's pretty important, yeah, but
And
you chose a Trump rally. And she's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Anything for you, President.
Daddy Trump. And then there's the part later where he's like playing footage of her like press conference like at the rally and being like,
Oh, yeah.
but she's got this great husband, and like he lost the World Series, but like she's such a good gal, and like look at her and look at that dress, and she's so smart, and come on, like give it up for Kayleigh, and like oh wait, and then he says that insane thing where I think it's him calling the crowd fat. Did you pick up on that?
Oh,
that
yeah,
one.
he's
Yes.
like,
He
you
was
gotta
like-
be in shape to be a Major League Baseball player. It's not like you and the importance
Yeah,
to
not
someone.
like these guys.
Like, yeah, pointing to the crowd of like fat Floridians.
Yeah.
But it's also like baseball's kind of the one sport where you
You
like
can be fat.
can't
Yeah.
be fat because
Yeah.
you only have to run for about 10 feet. Roger Clemens and Mo Vaughn. And,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
they're
these-
husky
Wow.
men.
Husky
No.
I love
men.
that you guys know what these guys look like.
We're from Boston,
Boston,
all right?
okay? Boston strong.
It's
You
a
go to the
baseball
songs, you
town.
watch the games, and you look at guys, you say, that could be me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Men with real stomachs.
Yeah, they're always like eating like a bacon, egg, and cheese like on the field.
Wait, can we talk about the paragraph where she tries softball? Weekdays in my small town centered around the Little League field. In the fall, my brother and his teammates would burst through a paper sign spanned across the goalpost, ready to take the field for the Plant City Dolphins. Clad in my teal and orange, I was proud to be a cheerleader, shouting from the sidelines. In the spring, my brother played baseball, and I tried one bout at softball. One problem, though. Instead of hitting the ball, the ball hit me. I struck out the season, but after 1 year, I proudly transitioned from the mound to the concession stand, where I was pleased to be making $5 an hour.
Just like I took my rightful place as like a fun like Kelly girl, like
Right,
selling
like selling hot dogs. Like, I
popcorn.
left kind of the creepy lesbians and was like, yeah, I'm going to be selling like hot dogs for guys.
And
actually.
profit off of it?
Yeah.
Why would I work at playing softball
When
and
I could be
pay
making money
Yeah.
in our country, our
Boom.
free country.
Celebrity Book Club.
The book sort of ends like the election is happening, the 2020 election. And she kind of just like doesn't really mention how the election turns out. Does not mention like
January 6th.
January 6th. And then it's just like, and then I had preventative mastectomy surgery and I love God. And it's just like, wait, so babe, what happened? And I was kind of looking up because I was like, because I feel like there's two ways that ex-Trump people write books.
Yeah.
Either you leave the White House and you write this whole memoir where you're like, It was crazy. He's awful. Like, everyone in there is, like, lying. And I renounce my time there. And I renounce my years with the Trump administration. And, you know, what a besmirch of our democracy. Or you leave the White House and you're just like, I love Trump. And I would gladly work for him or someone else that he approves of in the future because that's the future of the Republican Party.
And that is why I've written this book.
And that's why I've written this book. And obviously, she's choosing that route.
Yeah.
So she's just not going to mention the whole election thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because
she can't.
She
wants to hold office.
She wants to hold office and either work for Trump if he becomes president or work for some other, like,
one of the other amazing men that she
like some
mentions.
DeSantis that, like, you know, Trump endorses or something. Because clearly, obviously, she, like, because I was looking up and there was, like, the text that she had to be subpoenaed for or something with between her and Hannity, where Hannity, like, on January 6th, where him being like, we gotta get the president to, like, stop listening to crazy people. And she said something like, yes, like, 100%. Like, we need to remove, like, the psychos around him because he just keeps saying, like, I won the election.
Yeah.
And, like, so clearly, like, she does think that, like, he's off the rails, but she has to just be like, and my faith journey concluded on October 29th.
After a debate that Trump won, and we actually don't know how the election ended.
I thought that he did a pretty good job at the first debate.
No, that was all it was. And she was just like, Chris Christie said he did a bad job, but that was just what Chris Christie said.
And that's weird because Chris Christie trained him.
And then she was
like, and I sorry, I wasn't actually at debate prep, even though I should have been, because again I went to Oxford. Anyway, I had the BRCA gene. I have to go.
And she was like, because her whole thing was being offense only, and she was like, and Christie said Trump too hot, tone it down. And I say, no. The way President Trump is debating is amazing. And I will dance the YMCA with him.
That whole section about how she was just like...
She said that she cupped her hand. Like, she described the shape of her hand while she was doing the formations of the letters YMCA.
And also, she made sure that we know that Trump is kind of a DJ because she's like... Trump, ever the curator of the rally playlist. You know, and some said, oh, but Kayleigh, you're the press secretary. And she said, yeah, I'm also a fun-loving person.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, okay, I can dance the YMCA. She gets top surgery before.
I know.
She's a top
she
surgery
was like,
queen.
It's like I never even had surgery. There was no difference.
Wakes up the night before her surgery when she's like, and I was showering and massaging my breasts.
I know.
Wait, read it.
The next morning, I took a shower and tried to take in the feeling of the hot water pouring over my breasts.
I mean, honestly, like, if you weren't going to have any feeling in your boobs anymore, like, I would definitely want to feel hot water on my tits.
Yeah, Lily, was like the final shower before your top surgery? What did you just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, was I? Probably. I probably was like, final water pouring down.
Take this in,
Take this in, my soft tit covered in hot water.
But then it was very similar, you know. I had a little sweatsuit picked out like she did. And then I just want to skip ahead to this part.
To the socks.
Then I put on my gray socks dotted with bright yellow lemons. The lemon socks reminded me of a television series I was watching called This Is Us. In one scene, a new father had just lost one of his triplets at birth, and an older doctor with a soothing voice offered him this wisdom. I'd like to think that one day you'll be an old man like me talking to a young man's ear off, explaining to him how you took the sourest lemon that life has to offer and turned it into something resembling lemonade.
Wow. She's talking about Donald Trump, like, dancing to YMCA, the careful curator. After watching the president dance on stage, I thought at one September rally, how can we not be dancing to the YMCA too? Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to go for it, I said to myself, stretching my hands up to form a Y, cupping them in the air for the M, over to the left for the C, and then coming to a point back up top for the A.
And I'm just sort of like, wait,
so
can you run that by me one more time?
Over
Why?
to the left.
And it makes me think, I haven't done the YMCA, honestly, in ages.
Not enough
I
times
haven't done the
in general.
Macarena since I had childhood cancer. and,
did?
And the whole town came out to support me.
I really just...
There's so much like fun Christian stuff in this book.
I
Like
mean-
when Stephen Miller gets into that fun debate with her about whether there's shrimp in the Bible.
And so we just started laughing and reading Leviticus on Air Force One.
And she was like, I don't think so. He's actually just talking about creepy crawlies on the bottom of the ocean and doesn't say the word shrimp directly ever, Stephen.
And so he laughed. And then I said, okay, I may be gullible, but I'm not that gullible.
Right, Jesus?
And she was like, and Sarah Huckabee Sanders would say this Jesus devotional to herself, like before every press conference. And so I began using the same devotional as a way to guide my spirits and open doors.
And one of her original things where Jesus really calls to her is she buys a bookmark on the beach that has footprints on it as a teen.
Oh, because there's a famous passage that's like, and I walked next to him.
I mean,
and, yeah.
I lived by a I had a footprints postcard featured in my bedroom always.
Wait,
as
and
a
did it
child.
have the quote, like, and I walked next to
Oh,
him or
yeah.
whatever?
I could not. I was like, there's no better way to end a book than with footprints. Yeah.
Is that how you would end your memoir?
I have to now.
Yeah, now
if
you
I'm
do.
not going to be charged with plagiarism.
I think Kayleigh would welcome that. Also, like when her and Trump go to like a Vegas Hillsong church, and she's always like knowing so much other Christian rock, and she's like, so they started singing like in his time he pressed wine, and I listened to that song all the time at home.
And she would always give a summary of the lyrics she was referencing instead of just directly quoting the lyrics at the International Church of Las Vegas. But the one that she was like really just like bowled over by was a song called New Wine.
New Wine, which was about how Jesus, how hard it was for them
to crush and
crush
press.
grapes.
Yeah. And like
Shout out to winemakers. Okay, this is
New Wine.
New Wine. Kayleigh's favorite song.
It's beautiful. That Christian chord progression.
And the crushing and the pressing, you are making new wine.
Shit.
And the soil
Alison Krauss.
It is kind of, it's really like
Kayleigh.
subtly emotional. Like,
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. No, I mean, she's making new wine every day with her press briefings.
There's another part when she talked about like when she was first walking to work at the White House, and she was like, "I'm listening to Christian music on my headphones."
Yeah. She's just on her AirPods, like listening.
Unfortunately, I'm in heels and it's raining, and my black long sleeve dress with gold buttons and red piping that framed my body is getting wet under the umbrella. And I'm thinking, what a horrible way to start my first day at the White House. And I have to go around to the side entrance to show my press pass, even though I'd been to the White House before. And then, like, finally, once she describes every single hallway that she goes through to get to, like,
possible.
to get to like the lower colonnade. She's like, and then I was desperately hoping I wouldn't have to present my huge binder. But then I did, and it went perfectly because
her
of
binder
Jesus.
is so organized. So she has this binder with clippings, articles, defenses.
Talking points.
Yeah, and she spent a whole chapter being like, Trump did not call veterans losers. And that is in my binder. And she's like, and he never got upset about anything, but he actually did get upset about that one.
That was the one thing. He was like,
Yeah.
if I honor anybody,
It's
with the
veterans.
most sacred heart. Yeah.
Because I always thought that was such a funny quote when that came out from Trump.
Iconic
just being
quote.
like, sorry, if you died in war, you're a loser.
It seemed very on brand.
I know. I would see very on brand. I was like, okay, go off, bitch.
But she really drove that point home. I was like, I don't know, Kayleigh. I mean, I'm sure your binder is really well researched.
No, and I totally was with her when she was just like, I mean, obviously the press are monsters and like they were being so, I feel like they were being so sexist to her, just being like, wow, Kayleigh has a binder. And she's just like, yeah, it's called being prepared.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Sorry, I have a binder with counter arguments.
It's called going to Oxford.
Yeah.
Transferring from University of Miami to Harvard.
Can we talk about the moment where she completely ignores the election fraud stuff at the end and she talks about the Marine Band playing Let It Go from Frozen as she was spending her last night at the White House?
That amazing dance. And she's like, and she just gone to like Maine or something. And we just met all these fishermen and, you know, Trump said to them, look, let them fish in conservation areas. Okay, they just want to do their job.
Then she followed that quote up with the simple sentence, he cared.
He cared.
He cared.
He cared about fishing permits.
Yeah.
And she ran home to baby Blake and they just danced the night away. I'm sure she was wearing a amazing black bodycon dress with a slit up the side and
baby?
heels. No, she tried in a couple of outfits for baby Blake.
Yeah,
and
the
she
Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
That was a good scene.
She was just in, just in that DC apartment, throwing baby Blake into some different little costumes there.
She had like 6 minutes and she was like, just put Snow White on baby Blake. Put a Princess Fairy on baby Blake, because she had to go to 3 Trump rallies in 3 different states before rolling on back to the Halloween
Ball.
mommy baby parade.
Mommy baby parade.
Wait, also when like the classic, the Rose Garden, Amy Coney Barrett. I'm like,
Amy Coney Barrett.
okay. And she's like, and the devil will prevail. And some do think that, yes, we all got the novel coronavirus from that event, but we'll never know.
Yeah. And then she was just being like, and yes, the American people are warriors for their valiant fight against this disease. I knew that I would be fine, but I was worried about my Uber driver, so I did not take a car during my incubation.
In heels in the pouring rain.
In my Ted Baker blue shift dress. With gold buttons. There's a lot of passages that where you're just like, what's the point of this? And you're like, oh, I guess this is just to like make Trump look good.
She's doing counter argument stuff.
It's basically she's got her binder. So I feel like this is from the binder. When we boarded Air Force One, the staff talked about what a raving success the event was. Yeah, I'm sure everyone was.
You get on. Wow, was that a success?
What an amazing event, everyone. As the AF1 crew served us delicious pasta with a seasonal pumpkin sauce, Dave Bossy, a close campaign aide to the president, worked feverishly to try to rework the president's schedule for the final day of the campaign trail. A little way into the trip, President Trump came and sat with us in the conference room. Someone had thought to pick up pumpkin donuts during our time at the orchard. A great move. We reflected on the event with the president and enjoyed our pumpkin donuts.
So you have this like plain pumpkin pasta on display back from the main fisherman. Then Trump is like coming with this like box of like orchard pumpkin donuts, and they're all just so full of pumpkin, like reading Leviticus.
And then she goes into the fisherman anecdote where she's just like, he cared about the fisherman.
But it's kind of
stuffing pumpkin donuts.
Yeah,
like a reverse Cinderella story. Right. You know, like instead of being inside of a pumpkin, the pumpkin is inside of you.
Inside of Air Force One.
Going to the ball.
Celebrity Book Club.
Segments 3412. What does she wear?
What doth she wear? What doth she...
She eat. How doth she live?
Okay, what does she wear?
What does she wear? I mean, gorgeous,
bodycon.
Tight bodycon. It's like Ted Baker. What are some of her other favorite brands?
But not like Hervé Leger, not a bandage dress, not too slutty.
It's like Fran Drescher 2020.
Oh, like what Fran Drescher would wear in 2020?
Yeah, because it's like these like tight business dresses.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I see that.
The business side, but none of the funkery.
Yeah,
It's
sorry,
like,
not Fran Drescher, president of SAG. But Fran Drescher, star of The Nanny,
Right.
2020.
And I feel like she's going to some like amazing Tampa boutiques.
Her style is very Lori Grenier of Shark Tank. And like they'll be like, she'll do like, like shoulder cutouts sometimes.
Back cut. But it's also this like thick kind of poly. It's like it's like Berlin Coat Factory in this way.
It's very TV ready. It's very like you want to wear one solid color that's going to pop on screen but not be too busy.
It's like the upscale version of the Bible verse on the bottom of the Forever 21 bag.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of her whole personality is the bottom of Forever 21. For sure.
And I feel like she's wearing stilettos, most always.
Yeah, she's like a girl
I
who's
would say a
always in
3.5 inch.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're not going higher than 3.5.
No, I mean, she still has to make it a way across
She's
the
not a
lawn.
stripper.
In the pouring
In that
rain.
DC heat or that rain. Mm-hmm. But yeah, back to just casual when her and her husband, Sean, are maybe taking baby Blake for a walk around the Tampa River. Seaside, Bayside. I'm seeing, maybe some tight jeans, like a soft V-neck white top that may have a tiny little pocket.
Do you think she's wearing stuff that says
Like faith and-
freedom, family, and flag? Or
No, I don't think she wears T-shirts with text on them or anything like that. Her husband does.
Yes. He's in a, like, maybe these colors don't run camo.
Yeah.
But she doesn't need to wear her faith on her sleeve.
She's professional.
No.
Yeah. She's a professional woman, and he can be like her sexy major league player.
Who supports his working wife.
What does she eat?
What does she? Well, she loves her some Italian food.
And Domino's. Do
Oh,
not
and
get
Domino's. No New York City pizza.
There's this scene where she tweets at Domino's in 2012, just being like, "I love your pizza," and then they she's like, "Domino's is better than any New York slice," and then Domino's tweets back, being like, "Thank you so much for your support," and then 10 years later,
They dig it up.
some total liberal is canceled Domino's for tweeting at Kayleigh in 2012, and she's just like, well, this is insane.
She's like, and this is cancel culture
And
for
this is
you.
cancel culture
We were
for
having
you.
fun talking about pizza.
Sorry. And she's like, and then someone sent a Domino's pizza to my house, but it sounds like she saw on her Ring
Nest. Yeah,
camera
but she
on her
didn't
Nest
open
that
it up.
someone delivered a pizza, but she's like, of course we were not there and we did not answer the door or open the door for strangers with pizzas because that's a security threat.
I did get concerned that it was poison pizza.
No, you were gripping, you were scared for her. And then another moment, I feel like it is another amazing plain talk with Stephen Miller. She's like, so we just started gabbing about our favorite non-New York pizza brands. Pizza Hut, Domino's, Little Caesars, Papa John's, go.
That was just another read. It's like every time she talks about pizza, it's like this thinly veiled, I hate New York City.
Yeah.
Situation.
With your big independent slices.
Thin crust. I roll.
Domino's for me, please.
Okay.
So her order at Filomena's, just by the way, is penne alla vodka.
Right.
She's not
She's not
adventurous as an eater.
No, but I'm saying that's a creamy. She's got a small waist. It's a creamy sauce.
I know. I think she's it's a lot of lip service to pasta and not a lot of action on pasta.
I think when she goes out to Filomena's, she's getting the penne alla vodka, and then for the rest of the week.
I think it's just portion control, guys. I just
Yeah,
don't.
you're
I don't
right,
think
you're
she's not asking for seconds. She's not loading up on garlic
And
bread.
she's taking a lot of phone calls all the time.
yeah,
That's true,
and she's
yeah.
constantly on the move.
She's walking in heels.
Right. She's literally walking
In the
heels.
pouring rain.
I mean, just the amount of steps from the old executive building parking lot to the West Wing East entrance, that's almost 1.2 miles
That's
right
half
there.
Football
a day.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's getting a lot of those cows out and walking. How does she live? My biggest question is how much Christian paraphernalia is there in the home, like crosses and faith signs and God loves his kitchen.
I think above their bed is some sort of Christian themed painting above her and Sean's
a
bed.
Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it is just a landscape, but I'm sure it references Jesus in some way. I think she has, some wooden angels around, but I also feel like it's since, Sean, he's on the Tampa Ray Lightning Rods or whatever, and then he might get traded to the Angels. I feel like it's a little unpacked.
So they're ready to roll at any second.
Yeah. I think it's, it's your classic, it's carpeted, it's a big couch, and of course some family photos, but not much.
Curious about her Zoom room. I guess she wasn't really Zooming during the pandemic because she was in the White House.
They
were working remote when the pandemic started. As she says in this book, we all had to start working remote.
Right.
But I think that she was then she was at her apartment in DC, which she does mention at some point when she gets COVID. She was like, I want to keep the windows open. It turns out her windows only open 4 inches.
Been there.
So,
that was you're in a
was
trapped Marriott.
But I think that was her apartment. So I think that means her apartment is like a condo. I think her Zoom room is very like there's a bookcase, like a cheap bookcase, and there's like one fake plant, one geodesic dome, like one cross, one framed photo of her and the president, like 6 copies of like Tim Tebow's book or something, just some more like faith all-American stuff.
Oh, because she has that huge...
But then like a big like criminal law like book
you have
too.
to.
Yeah. I'm a lawyer. Some volumes.
Yeah.
Okay, who are you in the book?
I mean, obviously I'm Chad.
I mean, I don't remember her ever talking about Chad before the acknowledgments.
I remember her talking about Chad, but like you are clearly more, I feel like you related, so you're kind of tagging on to more Chad stuff. Like her being like, and then I saw Chad, and like I met up with Chad in the West hallway on the way to the press briefing room.
You guys are sort of being misandrists, and you didn't see Chad in the book. Well, I saw Chad. I saw a lot of Chad, and I saw a lot of me in Chad.
Was Chad working in the press?
Yes, he was. He was her faithful assistant.
Yeah.
And he was always just like rushing along and like measuring the podium and getting the facts right.
And the one that she wouldn't let work on weekends because she was so devoted to Trump that she went on every trip.
Oh, yeah. Trump. And they were like, go home, Kayleigh.
Yeah. He was like, send one of your younger...
Your young bucks. Send Chad.
Younger than 32.
And she was like, okay. So I then ran back to my apartment and then ran back and rebooked a flight to Tampa Bay International Airport.
Okay, so this is Chad. He has a huge birthmark.
Oh,
wow. He's pretty handsome.
Erin.
I'm Mima. I'm Mima because...
May she rest in peace.
She has like red wine and pizza with Mima.
Oh, okay.
Saturday
You're like,
nights.
come over to Mima's house.
Yeah.
And you better get us some Boston Market after church the next day.
Oh, yeah. Mima loves her Boston Market. That's so you.
One of my top 7 favorite fast food brands that aren't New York pizza. I think I could be a little Ryan, her annoying sister, making food at midnight.
Yeah,
and also interviewing people who've stayed overnight in 40-degree weather to get into a Trump rally.
Yeah, I get that job, and I'm like, yes. And
I think you would do well at that.
I think so, too. And I have my camcorder, and I'm like, okay, this is your big break.
Could you also maybe, whoever was the enterprising staffer that thought to get the pumpkin donuts?
Yes. No, I'm there being like,
this is
going to be fun.
Oh, this will be fun. I know we're going to love these donuts. I'm getting these. Trump is going to love these.
Well, he's like interviewing fishermen, and I'm kind of like smelling a fun market while we're in Maine, being like, I'm going to head out.
You don't regret buying pumpkin donuts.
No. You never do.
I guess I give this book, I don't know. When it started, I thought I was going to like it a lot more because of all of the like descriptions and like the steakhouses in the Ford F-250s. But then it did just kind of drone on and like never gave you any actual juice whatsoever at all. And it was just her talking about walking up to the podium over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and then again, just like the real question mark at the end where she's just like, and then the election was happening, have to go. And I was just a little bit like, you could have given us some more. And also like didn't really give anything about her childhood either. So I'm giving this like 2 out of 5 burning churches.
Yeah, I'm also giving this, 2.3 black F 420s 2021.
Nice. No, that's a truck I want to drive.
The lot. Just because, I just got to give it to her for the amazing descriptions of the YMCA and the steakhouses and Baby Blake's costumes for Halloween. But yeah, I think, I was like, oh, this can be so funny, and Jessica Simpson with her descriptions. And then you're like, let's talk about some breakups. Let's, give us a little more
personal.
Yeah.
It was
That's how you
so impersonal.
run for office.
Well, she's saving that, I guess, for when she does run for ag commissioner.
Think about how amazing the work you're doing with Trump right now is. If you didn't give me a little more struggle and breakups in the beginning, and I know that was the point of her story about the girl in her town who died, but I needed more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say 1.5 out of 5 lemon socks.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Heard. No, that makes sense.
Well, listen, Erin, thank you so much for joining us.
And to get back into, as you said, Trump's whimsical White House, his house of whimsy.
Yeah, what a house of whimsy. Is there anything you want our readers, or when I say readers, I do mean listeners.
Listeners.
The people that are reading the full transcription
How can they
of
find
this.
you?
Yeah,
What do you
should they
have? Do you have
find
anything
you?
coming up?
Do I have anything coming up?
I saw you had a show.
Are you in an upcoming
I do,
season
but
of
it's
Search
next-
Party?
Okay.
You can just keep abreast of me on Instagram.
At Erin Markey.
Yeah. With a little underscore in between the two words.
The tiniest of underscores.
Pretty little underscores.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
But
Thank
absolutely
you.
blessed week to all of our listeners. We will see you guys in the VIP lounge on Friday, where Erin Markey will be joining us.
We're
to
talking
talk
couples therapy.
lesbian gossip, bars,
More Christianity.
celebrity tea. Who said what? Who wore what? Who fucked whomst?
And more.
Stick around.
Best.
Best.
New wine.
New wine.
New wine.
Celebrity Book Club is presented by our Lord and Savior Prologue Projects. The show is produced by Benjamin Corinthians 247 Frisch with editorial support from the winged dove of Our Lady of Sanctimony, Leon Nafok, Andrew Parsons, who is a nun, Arlene Arevalo, who is a deceased nun, and Madeline Kaplan, who worked at a nunnery as a janitor. Our production manager is Percia Verlin. May she rest her heavenly soul deep, 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 deep in heaven, at the bottom of heaven. Not hell, but the bottom of heaven. Original theme song by Stephen Phillips Horst. He is also a God-fearing Christian man. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips, New York, which is a fun church that does a good coat drive for summer. Mostly you see a winter coat drive, but what they do is a summer coat drive, so light jackets, which I think is super helpful. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CBC The Pod. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app, so that could be anywhere from iHeartRadio to Stitcher. Maybe you have a Christian app. I like to listen on it's called Crosswire, and it's just all electronic Christian content. Leave us a review, and do not forget to tell your friends about us via the power of prayer. You may also leave us a review, and I would encourage you to subscribe to our religious-themed Patreon.com/CBC The Pod, where you get access to the VIP lounge, which is a super fun space where we get even more Christian than we are on the regular pod. So it's just mostly quotes and lessons. Hope you're well. Best.